Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is the latest in our Game of Thrones reaction series. And today we are reacting to Season 2, Episode 6, The Old Gods and the New. And of course, to react here with me today is my co-host, Tyler. Hey, Tyler.
How's it going? Another episode of Game of Thrones.
Another episode. We are past the halfway point now for season 2. So, last episode, we saw a shadow demon that was given birth from the Red Woman come through and kill Renly Baratheon in the night, which sent Ms. Brienne and Lady Catelyn Stark out on the run. Then we saw Tyrion find out about Cersei, who had been making wildfire on the down low, and decided he was going to take over such operations from his sister. Jon, above the wall, was sent out on a scouting mission to get rid of these spy lookouts that the wildlings have set up in order for the Man of the Night's Watch to be able to get back to the wall and in a better position to defend themselves. Arya was now serving Tywin Lannister, and they had a nice little spar off before she ran into Jaqen Hagar, who was one of the crazy killer men that was in the cage on their journey to the wall.
Yeah, you recognized him right away.
And he told Arya that he owed 3 lives to the Red God, so she got to name 3 people for him to kill, starting with the Tickler, who he took care of by the end of the episode. And finally, we saw Daenerys in Karth meeting these weird people, including a warlock, Jorah meeting this mysterious woman in a mask. And we learn of Xaro's ulterior motives. In order to give Daenerys all the ships and money she needs to take the Iron Throne, he only asks her hand in marriage. Jorah steps in to say, no, don't do it. Don't do it. And Daenerys seems to agree to his plan instead by the end of the episode. So that is basically where we're left off. Now let's see what the old gods and the new have up their sleeves this episode.
Mm-hmm. I will say, at least the music has stayed consistently good.
Oh man, on the vent.
It looks like he's getting chased by dogs, maybe, and people. Not looking too good for him. You get it right off. He's writing like a final message. Oh, that's a 3-eyed raven. Uh-oh. Oh, he's probably dead.
Get up. You have to get dressed.
Theon.
I took it. Down and tell them how you've yielded Winterfell to me.
I won't.
Yes, you will.
I won't.
I feel like it's kind of a not fair fight between the two of them. Theon has been like punked on by so many people. It wouldn't surprise me if Bran just punks on him too. Yeah, traitor. Double cross.
Winterfell to Theon.
Louder.
No.
Say Prince Theon. You all know me.
Congratulations, you beat the child.
Sack of shit.
Farlin, you be silent.
Inform her.
At least he got to live. I figured he was just get murdered. Oh no.
Grieves me you've less honor than a back alley whore. You were raised here, under this roof. These people
I'm glad that everyone else is also disappointed at Theon.
Rob thought of you as a brother.
But keep talking.
Uh-oh. He's gonna get beaten up, probably.
Lock him up, Vartans.
He's gonna have to kill him. No. I mean, Theon's kind of a jerk right now, so it wouldn't surprise me.
You'll address me as Prince Theon, or you'll be next.
Go.
Both him and Joffrey are just doing terrible jobs. Well, they're not even gonna wait. They're just gonna do it right now. Jeez.
He who passes the sentence should swing the sword.
Love to see you, father.
Don't do it.
Old man.
Ooh. Didn't even go all the way through on the first hack.
Oh,
Jesus.
have to like curb stomp it.
I mean, that was brutal as hell. I mean, I think Theon is definitely not redeemable at this point. I mean, I thought maybe it was like a little bit in the middle, but I don't know.
Ghost, stay with
Oh, Ghost again.
Ghost is on the range too.
He said like every episode we're just having a shocking death.
Can you read? My cupbearer can read better than you.
Man, that guy's just getting roasted.
Maybe you should devise our next battle plan while you're about it.
Lord Peter Baelish.
Uh-oh. No. That's not good. He knows. She's screwed.
She see her face. She knows too. She's like, oh shit.
I mean, that's like one of the worst people you want to see right now. Maybe the haircut will help.
Thank you. I
mean, that's one way to do it, right? Just turn around and pour face away from him as much as possible.
That moment of chaos affords opportunities.
More wine for Lord Baelish.
Run away. He's starting to. I think he's starting to see.
Allow me to have.
Oh.
Ooh, no.
Pardon, my lord.
It's only wine.
The tension. There's always so much tension in this damn room. Like every time.
On your son Tyrion's directive,
The way he keeps looking at her, he has to know.
Why?
Oh. This reminds me of the stuff with OSHA. It's kind of like the same kind of idea almost.
What's your name? We'll meet you at the top.
Something tells me he's not gonna do it.
Deep in there,
The way he was looking at her.
Strike hard and true, Jon Snow, or I'll come back and haunt you.
Just threatening him as he has a blade up against the neck. I don't think he's gonna do it. He's hesitating. Oh. And yeah, of course. And he regrets it immediately. Well, I don't know what John's gonna do now. Letting her run away.
Damn
What's he
it,
gonna
John.
report? What's he gonna do? Report back? I don't think he's gonna catch her. Well, bye. I mean, she doesn't seem too happy about it. But bye.
Your Grace, we're hungry!
He's doing a really crap job.
Prince back to the keep now.
Let's turn to. Oh, yeah! Whoever threw that. Amazing.
The man who threw that, kill them! Kill them all!
Oh God, he craves violence again. Poor Tyrion. I mean, ooh. Yeah, I would run the hell away from that. Ooh. Hound. Why would you think that would work? What was your plan? What was your plan in that situation?
It's like monster of a man, and you just like your hand.
Yeah, that'll do. Uh-oh. Run, Sansa, run.
We've had vicious kings, and we've had idiot kings, but I don't know if we've ever been cursed with a vicious idiot. I can, I am.
You're talking to a king!
Yeah!
Did my hand fall from
Amazing! Not looking too good. Somebody better save the day. Who's saving the day? Oh, it's the Hound! Ooh, 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 ooh. Jesus Christ. I mean, I know they're bad people, but I mean, dang. Oh,
All out brawl.
it's just a giant brawl. Yeah.
You hurt
Hound
me, lady.
saves the day.
Terrible
This
dreams.
guy again.
Look
I hope this
what
guy
a
dies.
Beauty you are now the red waste has been washed off you.
But there is no servant alive that can bring me what I want.
Oh, she has a talent for drama, this one. So,
He wasn't
little
the talk.
princess, I need my ships as well. I use them, you see, to bring spices from one port to another.
Whatever you grant me now
Screw
will
your
be
damn
paid
spices.
3 times over.
Would it not be correct to say, take the Iron Throne?
I didn't come here to argue.
Oh
for
God,
money.
he's one of those
You
people.
came to take my ships. Do you have an army?
Not yet.
You do not have an army.
Yeah, that support
He
my
has
claim.
dragons.
When were you there last?
I'm no ordinary woman. My
Yeah,
dreams come true.
he's fierce.
I'm sorry, little princess.
I am not your little princess.
Yeah, you
I
tell
am
him.
Daenerys Stormborn of the blood of old Valyria, and I will take what is mine with fire and blood.
He needs to just go.
And there's not having it from the spice trader.
He's just a jerk.
Sick
I
of
don't
him.
like him. He's just so overly theatrical and rude.
Who taught you
Oh.
to read?
Oh.
My father.
Just out of nowhere.
Reversed them in his head.
So Jamie,
Simply must accept it.
there's dyslexia in Game of Thrones.
Quite a man.
I feel like Tywin is just poking holes in all of her stories. Like every time they speak about who, her real, lineage. I feel like eventually it's gonna come to a head though.
He was a good man,
Oh,
but a weak man.
sneak.
Let's go and ask him.
Oh, well, she's been found. She's been run away, I guess. I think she's kind of screwed now.
Nope.
Wrong guy. Wrong guy that looks exactly like him. Immediately.
Go cannot tell a man when exactly he must do a thing.
Well, there goes the second wish, I guess.
Oh.
Dart. Man, she only has one left. That's unfortunate. I thought she would use them for more exciting uses, so man. It's time. Turn that smolder back on, Rob.
Rob.
Oh.
Cock blocked by his mom.
It's close. Damn it, Catelyn.
Right when he was getting to the crucial part of the conversation, Catelyn shows up.
Promised to another. Hey.
He doesn't want it.
I haven't forgotten.
Or Rob.
Grace.
We'll stay warmer if we stay close.
Is this some sort of like
Life.
flirting? I don't know what this is exactly between them.
Stop moving.
I'm just trying to get comfortable.
Mhm.
Stop it.
Sure.
Because the Greyjoys are treasonous whores. My brothers.
I've never heard that
everything
term
I've-
used before. Treasonous force.
Let me go and talk to Theon.
There will be no talk. You will die for this.
Yeah,
Theon
I
has
think
passed
he
with a
deserves
certain
death at this point. I feel like Theon has like had the most like sex scenes of this show. I feel like he is like always getting it in. Okay. Somehow I know this is gonna go wrong. Oh, and it did. They're just all getting out of there.
On the move.
And there's the wolves.
Yay!
The dire wolves had to come too. Thank God they didn't leave them.
Today, I am the richest man in Kaf. Do you think the path from poverty to
I feel like
wealth
all
is
he cares
always
about is
pure
how rich he is.
and honorable?
Like I feel like he's
I have
brought up
done
how
many
rich
things
he
clearly
is.
see that a
Like
righteous man
every time they're
condemn.
smoking. Oh, okay. Ugh. Ooh. Then what the hell happened?
Where are my dragons?
No, not the dragons. They took the dragons. Not the dragons, man. They're gonna take the dragons and kill everybody.
Kill all her little Dothrakis. Kill her little.
How many of them are left?
girl.
How many of them are left at this point?
God. Her horde was already small enough.
That's what I mean. There weren't that many of them to begin with, and he just killed like a dozen of them. That stupid Spice Man, I know it.
Well, this episode started off with Theon showing up in Winterfell and taking over, making Bran name him the new Lord of Winterfell. Obviously, the Northmen didn't like it, brought in Sir Roderick, who got a brutal beheading because Theon didn't do it right. So
Yeah, I mean, it was probably I think that was like the least clean beheading of the show so far.
that was Bran's dream come true because the Greyjoys have the Kraken as their sigil and they worship the drowned god. So they are the pirates, basically. They are the sea. So the ocean did come crashing into Winterfell with Theon and the Greyjoys. But we see Osha seduce Theon a little bit later in the episode in order to get close to him and sneak little Rickon and Bran and Hodor out of there before some kind of harm comes to them as well. How did you feel about everything that happened in Winterfell this episode?
I mean, it's a shame because like I'm just really disappointed in Theon Greyjoy at this point. I think like he was actually not that bad of a character up until I guess the last couple episodes where he kind of just turned his back on the Starks and then he starts beheading people. I mean he's shooting up the list of people I don't like. For lack of a better term. But I guess at least fortunately, Osha, Bran, Rickon, and Hodor and their dire wolves are just going to go off and on their own adventure somewhere because it looks like Winterfell is not the place for them right now.
Well, luckily we did see Maester Lewin get that one lonely raven out, and we saw Rob receive the raven later in the episode. But first, Rob finds Lady Talisa yet again in camp. And his flirting attempts go much better this time around. Before Catelyn rolls in with that block.
Literally, like immediately, right as the punchline, want to go. Literally, right when he asks for a date, she shows up.
And then says, Rob, let me just remind you, you are sworn to another. You can't. I'm sorry. I wish you could fall in love for love's sake, but it's not possible. So, Rob.
He's gonna. I think he's gonna defy that though. So that's my prediction for that at least. I think he's gonna ignore that warning.
Then we see Rob get the news that the young Greyjoy has betrayed him. Everyone says, well, the Greyjoys are trash, so we told you.
Basically.
And obviously Rob wants to go and kill Theon, but they're like, you can't. Sorry, you have to stay here. Otherwise, everything we've worked for is thrown in the trash. Lord Bolton says, let me contact my bastard. He will go over there and take down Theon and reclaim Winterfell for you. How do you feel about everything with Rob's camp this episode?
I guess I'm surprised that she actually came back and into the fold. Talisa. It did go a little bit better this time. I think they do have really good chemistry together, even if, like I mentioned earlier, like he is supposed to be married off to someone else. But I do think he's going to ignore that anyway because he seems much more adamant on her than whatever this person is that he was married off to. Was it David Bradley's character? I think. Yeah. I forget his name. The creepy old man.
Lord Frey.
Right. It's a shame that Rob trusted Theon and it ended up biting him in the back basically. I hope that maybe Theon is taken to court or justice is put upon him or Rob murders him or whatever they decide to do with him for him killing people and taking over Winterfell.
Well, Arya was sneaking around. Obviously, we first saw her in that super tense scene when Littlefinger came to speak to Tywin Lannister.
Yeah.
And she did her best to try to hide herself from him.
A little bit, yeah.
Though he seemed to know who she was, but he did not give her up. So that was at least a positive in the moment.
Yeah, it looked like it to me that he knew the way he kept looking at her as he was speaking to Tywin.
Yeah, and then Arya continued her little banter situations with Tywin as they talked, and she used that discussion as a little bit of a ruse to go ahead and snatch that letter of Rob's plans off of Tywin's desk. Unfortunately, she was stopped by one of the guards. Was forced, suppressed to use her second kill and found Jock and her guard to go and kill that guard before. And he told Tywin of her plan. How'd you feel about Arya, Tywin, and Jock and Hagar over there?
And Jock and Hagar, I mean, he's kind of just been around just to murder people, it seems like at this point. Like that kind of seems to be like his one big character trait so far, is he just murders people and he's honorable about his mission when it comes to the wishes and fulfilling it. I like the Arya stuff, especially with her and Tywin, because it's probably some of the more tense moments of the episode, the tension building between Peter Baelish coming, and more than likely he recognizes Arya if he looks at her long enough, and just the tension of hiding her face so he doesn't bring it up to Tywin. And then afterwards, when her and Tywin are speaking and she takes the note away and all that stuff, I think that was some of the more entertaining aspects of the show. I think it's one of those things that eventually it's going to come to a head where Tywin Lannister probably does figure out that she's a Stark. He's very smart and very crafty, and he seems to be kind of slowly asking her more and more questions, because I think he maybe doesn't trust her right away, or all the way, I should say, because her story kind of just doesn't add up that very well. Keeps kind of forever changing. So I think he is kind of curious and weary of her, I guess, true lineage or her stories. Especially as people keep dying around her, I guess, mysteriously.
Literally right in front of his face this time.
I'm curious to see how that's going to play out in the next episode, where the dude opens the door and just the guy opens the door and drops dead like he's like a cartoon character, right?
Well, then we saw elsewhere in King's Landing, Cersei's daughter Marcella being shipped off to Dorne before they head on back to the castle, and the hungry, angry people of King's Landing throw a cow pie in Joffrey's face.
He did not like that very much, but I liked it at least.
And Joffrey says, kill them all.
Terrible.
Kill everyone.
All because he got a cow pie thrown at him. Everyone must die now.
And mayhem ensues. The people are trying to get Joffrey. They're trying to get anybody they can get their hands on. They literally rip one of the men apart.
Horrifying. It was like I was watching a zombie movie. Tyrion just turned around and just sort of tearing him apart zombie style, and then the guy just grabs his arm and lifts it up in the air. For all I know, they're probably going to eat it. For all I know, they were probably going to eat him. They were hungry.
They're starving to death. So
they basically were zombies almost. Cannibals, at least.
Tyrion insults Joffrey.
Yeah, he called you an idiot. You called him an idiot and punched him in the face. That's part of the episode for me.
Joffrey just sitting there quivering again.
He's the king, but Tyrion don't care. He's his nephew. He don't care.
Meanwhile, Sansa on the run for her life as these men start stripping her and trying to rape her before they presumably kill her. Brutal. Before the Hound just brutally mows them all down.
Yeah, you want to talk about brutality? Freaking the Hound. I mean, I expected it from him. He's a brutal character, but damn.
Just fling Sansa over his shoulder. Take the bag.
No big deal. Just throwing her over the shoulder and taking her out of there, no problem. No. I think the funniest part was that part in all of that chaos when that guy just walked up and, like we mentioned it, like he just walked up and put his hand on the Hound's chest, thinking that was going to do something.
How'd you feel about everything that happened with them landing?
The chaos is entertaining and just insane. Just obviously the town King's Landing is just turning on them. I know Tyrion had mentioned before that they don't like them very much.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's coming to a head here with Joffrey just wanting to murder everyone once he gets a cow pie thrown in his face. He doesn't care about Sansa, obviously, the way that he treats her. I did think it was funny that Sansa had a quipped at him. That was a good Sansa quip where Sansa's like, "I saw you cried before." But yeah, Joffrey's terrible. It was amazing to see Tyrion put him in his place once again and then punch him in the face. But the Hound, that was terrible what was going on with Sansa. I'm glad that it didn't, the Hound saved her before anything could be really done to her, horribly. But that was pretty brutal.
Well, we saw the Men of the Night's Watch, the little ranger group, the little troop, find the wildlings camp, and they ambush them. But to Jon's surprise, one of them was a woman, and John just couldn't bring himself to kill her. John did hunt her back down. He was able to catch her as she ran away, but he's just like holding her captive as they're out in the middle of nowhere, and she is like rubbing herself up on.
I'm guessing they're flirting, or at least it's very one-sided flirting, at least, because I mean, at least if it seemed very flirtatious at points.
How did you feel about John and Egret, our little female wildling?
I mean, Egrets. I mean, she seems to have some spunk in her. I'll give her that. She's an entertaining character so far, and the way that she kind of just antagonizes and entices John throughout the episode. So, and I think it's going to be fun seeing their dynamic. I mean, if it lasts for a little bit longer, I don't know what's going to happen as far as John goes because her and him are kind of just off on their own as everyone else is doing something else and they're way off the path. So they got to find, like, they got to do something quick before they freeze to death out there.
All right, and then finally, Daenerys approaches the Spice King to ask
hate
him
that guy.
for ships. That's where you don't really have anything to offer for me, little princess, so why should I give you anything? And she starts off trying to convince him nicely and then says, I'll be taking what is mine with fire and blood. So once
I
again,
thought that was a
threatens
good
the
scene.
Spice King. He's just getting threatened left and right by Daenerys.
Yeah, the Spice King. It's not looking too good for him.
But then we hear she's trying with all these different kings out here, and they're either trying to trade one ship to sleep with her for a night, or they don't want to upset the Lannisters. So she's not getting anywhere with these kings that trade things here. And then opens the gates to the place that she's been staying and finds her Dothraki murdered there.
A lot of them, yeah.
Yeah, before running up to her room, seeing one of Hild's and her dragons stolen by some random person who was like hunched over carrying
somebody that I feel like it has to be do with that Spice King dude. It has to be.
So now she has a much smaller Dothraki horde. She sent Jorah off to go like try to find her ship, so he wasn't there. Maybe thankfully, or maybe he would have been able to stop the thievery. Who knows?
Well, yeah, Jorah. Well, Jorah actually has like some battle experience.
Yeah.
He would probably at least been able to like save a couple of them.
And now she doesn't know where her dragons are. So, what did you feel about Daenerys' story this episode?
I thought it was solid, solid development. I thought that scene with her yelling at the Spice King was great. Her kind of just like flexing her. Well, she doesn't really have that much muscle in the sense that she doesn't really have much power, which is kind of the big problem.
Flexing her future muscle, that's the problem.
That's what I mean. Like I'm glad that she's very confident in herself, even if she doesn't have the bargaining chips really.
At the moment.
But I'm glad that she's like sticking to her morals and not, taking all these ridiculous deals for a ship or two and all that. She's trying to do the right thing and let Jorah figure it out. But I mean, she's probably gonna be pissed off that they killed a bunch of her, Dothraki, and then they took her dragons. So it's probably gonna set off a fire in her, no pun intended. And she's probably gonna take off after that. Probably go after the Spice King. I just feel like it has to be the Spice King. The Spice King. I feel like it has to be the Spice King, or maybe the creepy dude that has like doppelgangers. I don't know.
Oh, the warlock from last.
We haven't really seen too many of the other people in that place, so I don't really. I mean, I guess dragons are desirable, but I feel like if it would make more sense for it to be the Spice King.
Then Zaros there, kind of advising her to take these not so great deals, saying he had to do some shisty stuff to get to where he is.
Yeah, that's why I imagine it's not him because he's with her. But I mean, it could be, maybe it's an inside job.
All right, so now here we are. Dany's dragons have been stolen. Robb is flirting, but also figuring out Theon is taking over Winterfell. Osha has taken the Stark boys and snuck out of there, and Jon is chilling with his little wildling prisoner. So what are your predictions moving forward?
I mean, I think Daenerys is going to be pissed. I mean... She's gonna, her dragons are stolen. So I mean, I'm assuming she's gonna get them back, in some shape or form. Whether she has to fight for them or Jorah has to help fight for them. She'll probably get her ships or at least something out of it and probably peace out because why would she want to stay there when they all want her dragons? I imagine that John and Ygritte will find some sort of path away from the cold, whether they find the camp, I guess, or the people from the Night's Watch. I mean, that'll be interesting to see. I guess since Rob can't go, hopefully someone goes from the Boltons bastard will go and take Theon, and maybe Rob and Theon could have a heart to heart before Rob murders him. Um, Joffrey's doing such a terrible job. I mean, I don't know how much longer he's going to last in power.
They don't listen to Tyrion. Tyrion tried to advise Cersei, but she just didn't listen or tell Joffrey. And now look what happened to you.
Is there like an impeachment process in the Game of Thrones universe? Like, I feel like he fits the quota.
Pull up the impeachment proceedings immediately.
That's what I mean. I don't know if there's like an impeachment process, or you can just be fired, or we have to like murder you.
Yeah, the impeachment process is death. So,
I mean, I don't know about for him. I'd be okay with it. Also, Arya. Maybe Arya will use her last death wish on Tywin and just get out of there. I mean, I have literally no idea where Osha, Bran, Rickon, and Hodor are gonna go. I mean, we'll see. I guess. Hopefully, they go find Rob too. I guess. I don't know.
All right. So for episode 6, who were your faves and least faves?
Tyrion's always been my favorite, but for this episode, Daenerys was pretty good. I mean, that fiery speech she had at the end was pretty great. Rob was pretty good as well. Even John had a little bit of character growth and development that I thought was pretty fun. And those are a solid group that I like because there's not too many people I disliked in the episode. But Arya was fun. Arya was fun with her, hijinks. Even Tywin, I like Tywin, even though he's kind of like supposed to kind of be a bad guy.
I think they just have like fun conversation.
Even when he's talking to other people in that room along with Arya, it's entertaining. But I guess that's everyone that I liked. I mean, the Hound was cool too, and which leads me, I guess, into my least favorite, which is Joffrey, of course. Terrible, always. I don't think anyone could be more terrible. But I mean, Theon's doing a great job at getting there.
Theon's trying to catch up quick.
Honestly, I mean, if he does a couple more things, him and Joffrey may be neck and neck. The Spice Guys,
King, this episode
whatever his name. Yeah, I mean, those are the ones I can think of that I really didn't like this episode. There wasn't like too many others that I dislike. I mean, I don't like Littlefinger, but like that doesn't think nothing he did in this episode made me like dislike him.
He was just kind of there to provide like the nerves.
Yeah, like he wasn't significant in like anything that would make me dislike him, but I've disliked him a lot in the past.
Well, that was episode 6 of season 2, The Old Gods and the New. I hope you all enjoyed our reaction and discussion. If you did, go ahead, click like down below and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on my latest videos, including each and every one of our reactions. Also, make sure that you are subscribing and following Tyler across the internet. So Tyler, let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, if you just search up my name on here, you'll find my channel where I do reviews, trailer reactions, or rankings, unboxes, and all that jazz. And then on Twitter and Instagram @It's Tyler Calvert. I'm on Twitter more than Instagram, though.
Perfect. So also get in on the discussion. He just said it. We both have Twitter, so you can hit us up there or down in the comment section below. Let us know what you thought about episode 6. I love you all so much for your continued support. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.